What in the world is going on, guys? Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan here on a Saturday night. I'm getting ready actually to watch Game 4 Western Conference Finals. Gonna check that out here, enjoying my weekend. Hope you are too. Relaxing, kind of catching up on some sleep and all that good stuff. And I figure, you know what? It's a good time to kind of put a little video together. Let's talk a little. I want to talk a little Eastern Conference Finals because that particular matchup is very interesting to me as a basketball fan. I want to talk to you about this. Before we do get started, though, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. That would be awesome. If you like the content of this particular video, you can go ahead and subscribe also to my channel, Sports Snippets Dennis Sullivan. And, one little side note thought. Isn't it cool that we're going to be heading into July 4th weekend with, major heavy-duty NBA playoff action? I mean, of high magnitude importance. This is, the coolest thing. And it's not that much delayed in terms of what we're used to as far as the season ending. Because right at about this time, late June is normally when, if the NBA Finals goes 6-7 games, that's when it's going to wind up. This year, it's scheduled a little bit different, and we're going into July. I kind of like this a little bit better with that 2 or so week, play into mid-July type of effect. That's cool. I think that's really cool. Actually, they might even go a little bit longer than mid-July. But anyway, guys, so I wanted to share that with you. Just wanted to throw that out there. I kind of like this. Little bit of a tweak in the way the schedule and the entire season's working out. So, what really interests me or intrigues me with this matchup? You look at the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the slight favorite in this Eastern Conference best of 7, and the Atlanta Hawks, the underdog, of course, the team that in my life, in my sports fan livelihood, have never won an NBA Finals. I do not recall them in the NBA Finals. The Bucks, of course, won when they had Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And here we are after 2 games. It's 1-1. Of course, the sports media that you see on television, they if you listen to them, you'd think it's 3-0 Bucks going for the sweep. Series is almost over. No. The Bucks won Game 2 by 34 points. They destroyed the Hawks in Game 2. But this is a 1-1 series going back to Atlanta, and Atlanta actually has the home court advantage. If we want to be technical about it, the Hawks, by splitting those first 2 games, they have the home court advantage, guys. Going into Game 3, anyway. Of course, that could switch. That could switch up, okay, with a Buck win in Game 3. But we don't know if that's going to happen. So it's 1-1. This series, I think, has a good chance to go 6. Maybe even, we might even see a Game 7. A lot of what's interesting, and I'm going to talk about Game 3, but about Game 2. But there's really not a lot to talk about when it comes to Game 2, only because there wasn't much of a game. Credit to the Bucks. They destroyed. The big thing here was they destroyed Atlanta on the glass in Game 2. They were all over the place. They needed the win, and they did what they had to do. Did the Milwaukee Bucks? Giannis was amazing again. Jrue Holiday looked really good, and the offense looked really good, for that matter, for Milwaukee. Now, what makes the Hawks? See, here's the thing. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, guys, and, it's a really good team, no doubt. They have an okay bench. The starting 5, I think, is underrated because if you got guys like Kevin Huerter, and John Collins, those are 2 underrated players mixed in with Bogdanovich, Capela, and, of course, Trae Young, the superstar. So, in terms of, the players on this team, yeah, they are definitely underrated collectively. They're not great, but they're a very good team. Now, there's one thing I want to talk to you about the Hawks that is a definite concern, but they make up for it, my big concern, in other ways, which makes them very interesting. So let's just get right into that part. What concerns me with the Hawks is even if you go back to Game 7 when they beat the Brooklyn Nets in that classic game last weekend, the Atlanta Hawks, for a team that's this good and has gone this far in the playoffs, have arguably, probably, at least via the eye test, when I watch these games, they probably have like the worst half-court offense I may have ever seen in a team that's made it as far as a conference finals. Their half-court offense consists really of Trae Young either scoring on his own, one-on-one, or not that there's anything wrong with this, creating off the dribble, feeding it to guys down low. But then, of course, we see the occasional 25, 30-footer, even in Game 7, in a close game, in the second half, not maybe in the closing minutes, but like in the second half, where Trae Young will just pull up from like 25, 30 feet. And that happens a fair amount. We saw it again, and we're seeing it again in Games 1 and 2. So, for whatever reason, this team is able to succeed despite the fact that they for the most part, from time to time, kind of throw away possessions. They really do. They do. Now, of course, it doesn't hurt when you have guys like Capela cleaning up the glass, Collins all over the place, causing havoc underneath. So there are certain factors that kind of bail them out. Okay? But this is not exactly, I remember back when I was in high school, you had those Celtic-Laker games. I remember the 1984 finals. You want to watch, and I'm going to get a little old school on you guys for a second. You want to watch good half-court offense? Go Google or search 1984 NBA Finals, Celtics-Lakers. All right, there you go. You're going to see some really good. The Atlanta Hawk half-court offense resembles nothing of that. Nothing. But who knows? That can change. Now for the good, that could switch up. They can improve upon that. Now, guys, I'm only going to take a few more minutes here. Where the Hawks make up for this, though, they are tremendous in certain areas. They're a good rebounding team. Capela, I cannot say enough for this guy. He tears down 19 rebounds in Game 1. Comes back with only 2.8 rebounds Game 2, but that was a blowout. Really doesn't count as far as statistics that much. It counts, but... Capela is amazing. He's all effort. This guy's heart, he plays with an amazing amount of heart. So does John Collins. Okay? But the real turn on for the Hawks, they defend very well. You notice they help very well defensively. They get back very well defensively. They're athletic, so they make up for some of these deficiencies. They make up for it in other ways. This is not your typical NBA team, guys. It's just not. It's just like one of those kind of strange teams, but in a good way, The Bucks, yeah, sure. The Bucks are slight favorites. I just checked on one app there, 4-point favorites for Sunday night's game 3, which will be very interesting. Giannis led the way in game 2, 25, 9, and 6, 2 steals. Jrue Holiday, remember they didn't have him last year, 22.7 assists, steal and a block. You have Lopez chipped in 16 and 3 steals and a block. Middleton, who's always going to find a way to beat you, 15, 7, and 8, and a steal. P.J. Tucker, only 1 point, but, P.J. Tucker's another guy. He's kind of like Middleton, like a bigger version of Middleton. A point, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. So he'll also find a way to beat you. Connaughton off the bench had 9, a steal. Bobby Portis, 8 and 3, a steal, a block. Forbes, 8 points off the bench. Jeff Teague, 7 points off the bench. Trae Young, now the Hawk starters really did not play a lot. Trae Young had 15. You're not going to see another performance like that in Game 3, I'm pretty sure, from Trae Young. 15. He was more just quiet. It was a blowout game. 2 steals he had. John Collins had 11 and 8. Bogdanovich, 8 points, 4 assists, a steal. Huerter, 8 points, a block. Capela, as mentioned, 2 points, 8 rebounds. Gallinari off the bench had 12. Reddish 11 and a steal. Khris Dunn 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a block. Lou Williams had 5 points, 2 assists. So guys, the big factor game 2, which again was a 34-point win for the Bucks. They out-rebounded the Hawks by 13. I don't quite expect that to happen in game 3. This should be very interesting, guys. If I were to predict, I don't do these YouTube videos to start predicting stuff, but I would say they probably split these two in Atlanta. I think that's like the logical pick. Who knows if that'll happen? And they go back to Milwaukee tied up at 2. But, Giannis is basically, we know what he's all about. He's basically unstoppable underneath. He gets the ball in good position. The only way you're going to really stop him is if you foul him. And if he's hitting over 60% of his free throws, which sometimes he does and it seems like sometimes he doesn't. Either way, though, he's causing problems. He's getting guys in foul trouble. Guys. But what I think it's going to come down to a lot is Capela is amazing. I have so much respect for that guy as an NBA player. The way he just battles on the boards. He's all over the place. The guy plays, as I mentioned earlier in this video, with so much heart. He is just this unsung hero of the Atlanta Hawks. Will it be enough? Collins is kind of your wild card guy for the Hawks who shows up, though. He shows up more now, more times than not. Gallinari, you're going to get points from him off the bench. Reddish is a good player. Lou Williams is a pretty good player. They're all good players. They're NBA players. So, for now, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. This is very interesting. We got to talk again about this particular matchup. Going to have more discussion on this. So this is Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets. We are going to head to Game 3. Goes to Atlanta, Georgia. We will see who comes out victorious. Bye for now.